100 days. What should you be checking off of your list in your first 100 days of strategic rushing? If it's your first century, wait a second, isn't a century 100 years and not 100 days? Welcome back to the Clash Tips YouTube channel. If you are at this point, 100 days of strategic rushing, then you have definitely gotten through the most difficult part of strategic rushing. Let me say that I am proud of you. I'm proud that you stuck to your guns, that you're deciding that strategic rushing is the best way to go. It's the best way to play. If that's the way that you're deciding to do it, I'm sure at this point that you've been made fun of, you've been laughed at. What's up, bro? Why are you rushing your base? Why are you doing this? This doesn't make any sense. You need to max, bro. No rushed accounts welcome here. But the reality is strategic rushers are going to have the last laugh. Why? Because strategic rushers are going to reach in-game first. We will have max heroes. We will be able to max all of our defenses. We will max our lab for many different reasons. But I am proud of you. Now, your first 100 days, what kind of things should you check off of your list in your first 100 days of rushing? Or maybe you're starting off on day number 1 and you're like, what should I look at accomplishing in my first 100 days? First thing that you should accomplish is by day 100, you should at least, at a minimum, be at Town Hall 11. We emphasize in our Town Hall 1 to Town Hall 11 video why Town Hall 11 is so important, because you get sneaky goblins, because you have access to higher level buildings. So when you start using your magic items, you can use those on longer days and longer timers and not super short timers like at Town Hall 6, 7, and 8. But you should be at Town Hall 11, number 1. Now, you can definitely be higher than Town Hall 11 by this point. In fact, I'm actually at Town Hall 13 in my first 100 days. I will be stopping at Town Hall 13 for a little while so that I can get my heroes to catch up. But that actually leads us to point number 2, which is you should at least have your heroes at 30, 30, and your warden at 20. Now, if your warden is at 20, then you definitely should be going up from Town Hall 11. In fact, I would highly recommend that you be at a minimum at Town Hall 12 by this point. You should also have at least all of your Town Hall 11 walls finished, but number 2 is you should at least have your heroes at 30, 30, 20. And on top of that, Supercell just introduced Town Hall 16, and with Town Hall 16, starting at Town Hall 8, they introduced the Blacksmith, and holy cow, this makes our hero-based rush so much more important because of all the amazing things that our heroes are going to be able to do. And in addition to looting for Dark Elixir, so that way you can non-stop upgrade your heroes, just like I am on my base. You can see all 4 heroes are down right now. My King, my Queen, my Warden, my RC, all of them are down right now. You also at the same time want to be upgrading items in your Blacksmith. Now, you're going to be getting the resources from those through clan wars, through raiding, through different ways than you normally get by getting regular gold elixir and dark elixir. So make sure that you stay tuned here, because we will have a guide coming out on how to utilize your Blacksmith and upgrading your heroes in the best. But point number 2 is if you are strategic rushing in your first 100 days, you at least need to have your heroes at 30, 30, 20 at a minimum. Number 3 is do not be limited by your Town Hall level. As we just said, if your warden is at 20 already or is close to 20, then do not let the naysayers, do not let the people who speak against strategic rushers to keep you down and tell you that you have to stay at Town Hall 11, because that's just the way that you need to do it. The reality is, number 3 is do not be limited by your Town Hall level, and do not be afraid to push that Town Hall button. As you go up to Town Hall 12, as you go up to Town Hall 13, the only negative to going to a higher level is that it will be a little more difficult to farm the higher up you go. And when I say little bit, I literally mean like teensy tiny, like itty bitty. Like you're not even barely going to notice it. I went to Town Hall 13 little over a week ago, and I am still finding bases in high crystal, low masters, mid crystal that have million loot about every 5 tries. So every time I hit that next base button about 5 or 6 times, I'm finding a base that's completely overflowing. So if that is your hesitation, hit that Town Hall button, go up to the next level. Of course, you have to make sure that you're focusing on number 1 and number 2, which is your heroes. You have to make sure that you are not neglecting your heroes in order for number 3 to make sense. Checklist number 4 is you should at least have 2 armies maxed by the 100-day mark. Now, if you've watched our other videos, you know that I have actually decided to max out my 2 armies, Lalo, which at a minimum, I had to max out my loons, my lava hounds. Wow, I forgot just for a second. I had to max out my loons, my lava hounds, and my wall breakers because doing a hero dive into the base is super important with a Lalo because you have to carve out a portion of the base. You can also carve out a portion of the base with a blizzard. That's not the point of this video. We'll show you how to do a blizzard in another video, but the second army that I decided that I was going to upgrade was going to be a ground army, and that was Witch Slap. Now, with witches, in order to do that effectively as a strategic rusher, you have to upgrade your witches to max, upgrade your golems or your giants or your ice golems. All you need is a tank with the witch army, and if you decide to do super giants, if you decide to do golems, if you decide to do ice golems, any of those are completely okay as tanks. In fact, I would almost argue that super giants you can get earlier in the lab because they're already available at the barracks. They might be worth upgrading more quickly, so that might be something to consider. But Witch Slap is about the only thing that giants can be used in right now, at the time, that is. So witches, golems, or super giants, or ice golems, and then lightning. Lightning is the last thing that I upgraded to max with my mass witch army. But you need to be focusing on an army, and I would recommend that you max 2. Now, preferably, you're going to have a ground-based army, and you're going to have an air-based army. My air-based army is Lalo. My ground-based army is witches. That doesn't have to be the case. Maybe you're deciding that you want to upgrade dragons. And if you're going to max out dragons at your town hall level, of course you need to max out your dragons, you need to max out your loons, you need to max out rage, and if you can, max out your freeze. If you're going to do a hero dive, then you need to make sure you max out your wall breakers as the next item in your army. If you're going to do E-drag attacks, and that's going to be your army, you of course need to max out your E-drags, loons, rage, freeze, wall breakers if you're going to do a hero dive. But you need to have, at a minimum, 2 armies maxed at 100 days, and you choose whatever armies that you want to be at max. Whatever it is, whatever you feel like you're best at, whatever interests you, then definitely go for it. Number 5, you should have all of your elixir upgrades max at whatever town hall that you're at. Now, granted, I just went to Town Hall 13, so in addition to working on my heroes, which is number 2, I'm also at the same time working on my elixir upgrades. But your storages, your army camps, your lab should be one of the first things that's done. Your clan castle, which was actually, interestingly enough, switched from a gold upgrade to an elixir upgrade. And also, interestingly enough, the blacksmith is a gold upgrade. I found that super interesting. But anyway, your elixir upgrades should be the number 1 focus. Number 6, after you finish your elixir upgrades at your town hall, if you're not quite ready to hit that town hall upgrade button, then you need to be focused on your core defenses. That's your expos, your inferno towers, and your eagle. If you have gone to Town Hall 13 and you have a chance, throw down your scatter shots as well. Those are your core defenses, and you need to focus on those first. Now, the final item that's on this list, number 7, is going to be, if you can afford it, get the Gold Pass. The Gold Pass offers the 10, 15, and 20% discounts on upgrade, research time, training times. I know that not everybody can afford the $7 or cheaper. Actually, if you buy it from the Supercell store online, you can get a 10% discount by purchasing it there. But if you can, you get the discounts, and that's going to save you 6 months in the end if your goal is in-game if your goal is trying to get to max. Also, not to mention all of the magic items that you get while you're on the gold pass can help you finish much more quickly and makes the game much more enjoyable, much more fun to play. Hopefully this strategic rushing 100-day checklist is something that helps you out, gives you some ideas on how you should be playing if you are looking to strategic rush your base. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Until then, we will see you next video. My name is TipDog20, signing out.